Hey folks, trout lover here, back on my favorite run. Bow River is super murky. It's really murky today and has been for a bit. It's really put a damper on the fish activity. So I guess with a day like today, I'm not too sure how many fish I'm going to catch due to the water conditions, but do a little lure chat here today, I think. I've been fishing all my life for as long back as I can remember on the dock with a doe and a hook trying to catch minnows. But lure selection, you know, a sunny day like today, you'd want to use a brighter lure. And on the cloudy, dark days, you want to use a darker lure. So like a silver spinner, shiny, flashy stuff. On a shiny day, cloudy day, I'd go copper, bronze, something like that. Dull it down some, find some duller colors. Now, I've been using a lot of these jerk baits here. And for the longest time, I never used them. They're rather expensive. I've always gone more with an inline spinner. I would use something like this, I guess, trolling, or for fishing, more for pike. More of an aggressive species that would bite a sock with a hook in it, I guess. But since I've found that I've been using more of these jerk baits, I do find I catch less fish, but bigger fish. I catch bigger fish with these and not as many little ones. The inline spinners, your blue fox, Meps, panther martin, all those ones, they're good lures. Me myself, I don't do any tails on the treble hooks. I don't seem to have as much luck with the tails on myself. It's just a personal preference. Some people like the rooster tail thing and all that. I don't. I have certain colors that I like and all that stuff that I find are a little bit more productive for others. And how I've done that through the years on figuring out what lure to use, right? Like today's, for instance, I'll throw this lure up this run. I haven't even had a bite or anything. It could be because it's murky, and then I'll change lures. And another method I use is, especially with trout, they top lots. They're always topping, right? So if you see a fish that tops, you know the vicinity that fish is in. So I fish that area with the lure until I'm pretty confident that I put that lure somewhere in that fish's face, and it's either gone for it or it hasn't. So that's a huge sign that whatever you're using is working or it isn't, basically, right? So then you could do a lure change again. So now you know where there's a fish. If that lure doesn't work, throw on a different one and try that until you figure out what they're biting on. Like for instance, this run here, the one day I went up it with one jerk bait, and I had some luck. So I fished all the way up here with one jerk bait and got to kind of where I wanted to be, and then I wanted to come back down, so I switched lures and thought, well, I'll try this one down. And it was probably 80% more fish. And I'm also fishing over top of where I've already fished some. I kind of hit the hot spots on the way up with one lure and then fish it down a little more aggressively with a different lure to see what the outcome was. And the outcome was night and day. Like, I had fish chasing it, and it turned my afternoon into a not bad morning into an epic day. And I should have that video on here. I don't know if I talked about lure change or anything like that, but as for right now, I fished a good 300 meters without a bite. So that's telling me that today could be a 1 to 2 fish day, and maybe even a no fish day. I don't think the fish really like this murky water for feeding, and the hatch is over, so And the other thing about fishing that I've followed through my whole fishing ordeal is the weather has a huge thing to do with the fish. Cloudy days are good, winds, rains, all that stuff. It all affects the fish. Even, you know, some people don't believe it or whatever, but I also believe that the lunar cycles, where the moon is positioned on fish activity. So like before a big storm, the barometer, the pressures, all that stuff, you know, the fish pick up on it. I don't know, some people can't sleep, you know, during a full moon sort of thing. Well, I think maybe the fish are the same way. They want to eat and are more active, right? Light in here, you know, little guy, something. Oh, I wasn't gonna fish because the river was too muddy, but I just couldn't resist. Sooner or later, I gotta put this in front of something's face down there. But I also might be making a move here pretty quick because this thins out, picks up the pice. Oh! I went over the weed pile there. I know this stretch of river pretty good. I know there's a big pile of weeds right under the water, right below me here, just up there. There's a pile of weeds that the fish actually, it's a little like a rock. And if you can usually bring your lure just down by the back of it. Nothing. I wonder if the fish are, oh man, I forgot my mosquito stuff. I'll be paying the price for that. Got one on here now. This is a pretty nice fish. I'm gonna have to see if I can play him out and bring him back up here. It's pretty fast water. Oh. Come on, baby. I don't know how deep this bank is here, but he's a big one, this one, man. Oh. Yeah, this is a nice fish. Keep him out of this current here. Here, I think I should be able to net him now. Oh, yeah. Nice one. This is a nice looking rainbow here. Let's see what you got going on. Buddy boy. Oh no. He got hooked again too. That was insane. He's still hooked again. I got him unhooked and then he got hooked and out of the net. I don't think so, bud. Guess what? How did you get hooked again? That is insanity. Flat bottom nets are good for losing fish. That's for sure. So how the heck did you get hooked again? There we go, simmer down. Sweet. Time to go, and I cut another one.